Okay. Fantastic. We haven't heard that enough for the past year. Hi. Hi, Georgia. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you. I'm Jake. This is
I'm Joe.
there we
Nice to
go.
meet
Yeah, it's great having you on. Thank you for making the time. Obviously, I feel like we asked this to everyone, but sort of how's lockdown been for you and how you sort of experiencing it?
It's been tough. I think just the lack of social contact has been really difficult, and obviously doing like sessions in person as well, like music-wise, it's been a little bit dull.
Mhm.
It's been very difficult, like dealing with everything over Zoom and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been working. I have a day job in the week that I do, so I've been not stuck inside, thank God for that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's been pretty busy in that sense.
Where do you work? What's your job?
In a print firm. It's pretty dull work, to be honest. But yeah, scanning, printing, copying, all of that sort of stuff.
I imagine you do some interesting stuff there, though.
Definitely. It's never a boring moment, any work that comes in.
Have you played anything during lockdown? Because I know there's been a few gigs here and there around October time and that.
No, I really wanted to, but I didn't get in quick enough before everything went back into lockdown again. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get back into gigs and when things are better in the world.
Yeah, I mean it is such a tragedy just that there is just no live music at the minute because live music is such a powerful thing.
Yeah, exactly. It was very helpful for music that I've released as well. It's something
Yeah.
that I would love to have gigged the singles that I've released so far.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time you did do a gig?
I think it was the end of 2019, which is a really long time ago.
Gee, that's over a year.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Have you got any sort of gigs planned upcoming?
Not at the moment, but I'm hoping to get some later in the year when I can. Hopefully around London will be good, and maybe around Essex as well.
Because you are from Essex and London, isn't it?
Yeah, so I moved to Essex when I was 18 with my family because my mum's side of the family are from Chelmsford. So I'm based in Colchester, and I used to live in Croydon in South London. I grew up there, so yeah, I miss it a lot. I definitely want to move back there because the scene anyway in London is much better, and it's just the place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I've only heard positive things about the music scene in London. It is very, very vibrant and very, I don't know, just cultural and just good.
Definitely, and my main audience is based there. All my mates live there, and got other family members who live there who would love to watch me play.
So you said that you haven't played any of your sort of current singles yet. Does that mean like you've got singles which you haven't like released yet that you have played before?
Yeah, I mean, technically, the most recent one, No Place to Hide, that I had gigged before it was released, maybe like 2 years. No, not 2 years ago. Like probably the end of 2019 around the time when I started writing it.
How did you get your start in music?
My family are very musical, and like my grandfather was a really good semi-professional drummer and piano player, so he was a really like big influence in me picking up the piano because I started learning when I was 8, so that really pushed me. And then I started singing around that time as well. I've always performed. When I was young, I used to be really into musical theatre. I still am now, but music kind of took over a little bit more, so I became more interested in that, and that's what I decided I wanted to do. But yeah, I've always performed when I was young.
Is that the only instrument you play?
Yeah, I don't play any other instruments. I could play about 4 chords on guitar.
Nice. Are you going to like learn any more instruments or pick anything else up?
I would like to learn guitar properly. I have a guitar sitting there that needs the strings changing, but that will happen at some point. But yeah, I would love to pick up the guitar. It'd be pretty cool.
What's your favourite musical then, if you're into musical theatre?
Oh, In the Heights has to be Lin-Manuel Miranda, the same guy that wrote Hamilton, because I love Hamilton.
Oh, right, okay. Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely my favourite.
Yeah, so you said you'd been sitting on No Place to Hide for about 2 years. Was it sort of because you worked with Lorenzo, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
So was he there during the writing process for that, or did he come on board to help realize it into like a brand
So
new
I
song?
mostly wrote it for like a uni project, and
Hmm.
where I had to do a compilation of songs for like a recital at the end of the year, which we always would in my degree. And I wrote that mostly myself, and then he kind of came on board later, and he helped refine parts, and just like the synth parts in the chorus didn't exist until he jumped on it, which literally makes the track. Like I have him to thank for those synths, because that's not something I originally wrote for that song, but it was a good direction to go in, and yeah, I've had a positive response from that.
No, yeah, I definitely thought his production was really clean. I think the synths do add a lot to that track in particular.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what is the sort of process between you two? Is it like how do you work together to make a song?
Well, for example, Nobody Knows, we wrote that from scratch. He started with the guitar part, and he
Hmm.
was starting to write that for himself. And then he said, "Oh, I think this is a really you song. I think it would work perfectly if you wrote on top of it." And I said, "Yeah, that would be really cool." And I really liked it. So I ended up top lining that, and then we kind of just worked on that further. But yeah, a lot of the time we write from scratch together. And like I said, with No Place to Hide, it was the complete opposite, where I started writing it and then he helped me refine parts. Like the last part didn't exist in the song before until he jumped on it as well. Um,
Yeah. So how did you get to? Because he's got a really I'm trying to think. Is the word like it's got quite a big discography underneath him. So like I was wondering how you got to working together.
So I'm lucky that I went to school with him. So
Right.
we used to perform together. He used to play piano for me. Me and my sister used to perform all the time at school in concerts and shows. So he used to always be a really massive fan of both of us when we performed, and he'd always want to accompany us. So yeah, that relationship kind of built from our friendship basically.
Hmm.
And he said, "I really want to work with you like further." And as soon as I left school, I think from the age of like 16, when I changed for sixth form college to the Brit school.
Hmm.
So then we started songwriting from there, which was good. So yeah.
Yeah. Is it a completely different experience then, sort of doing school performances over gigs?
Yeah, definitely. I think school performances, obviously you perform one song in a concert, whereas a gig you're performing a whole set. Like it's
Hmm.
a very different dynamic.
Yeah.
I imagine there's
Uh,
more pressure on school performances as well, because if you mess up, you're going to see those people every day afterwards.
Yeah, that's true
In a
as well.
gig,
I used to sing in assemblies when I was in like year 7, year 8, and I used to be terrified
oh, yeah.
because they were so serious. They weren't, it's not a gig atmosphere. The atmosphere is just so different,
well, yeah,
performing in front of your teachers and stuff like that is, yeah, stressful.
yeah. I was just wondering, like, when you first put out Nobody Knows, was it quite nerve-wracking to put your sort of first single out there?
Definitely. We had been sitting on that track for nearly a year, I think. We
Hmm.
started writing it, in 2019, mid 2019, I think, like May. And obviously, because of lockdown and stuff, we kind of just got most of the production and everything sorted. Then I sent him all the vocals and stuff like that. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. Was it as nerve-wracking to put out a second single, or by that point did you realize that like like people like this, like it's like I don't need to worry about the reception or that?
Yeah, I think I was less nervous for the second one. Like I said, with the first one, it was like, oh, this is the first time I'm releasing. I don't know what the response is going to be like. But
Hmm.
since I got a really nice response from that, it gave me like more confidence for the second one. And just No Place to Hide, I was just really excited about that track in general as well, because it's more upbeat. I'm very known to write very chilled out, ballady sort of. I always started out when I started songwriting, writing ballads, and I used to find it really difficult to write upbeat tracks. I feel like there's a certain skill to it.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Yeah.
so yeah, that was so I was really like proud that I'd actually written something more upbeat, and a lot of people haven't heard upbeat music from me before. So
What is sort of like the main driving force and inspiration behind your writing process?
Well, I think piano really, and also just like personal experience and uh, anything involved that's happened in my life or involved with people that I'm close to, like family members or friends. I write from that sort of perspective a lot of the time. I don't really tend to write stuff that I haven't experienced.
Where are you planning on going next with your music?
I definitely want to keep releasing more singles and hopefully an EP within next year. I'm already planning my third single, so it's going to be a little bit more stripped back than the last one and more guitar based. But yeah.
Are you going to be working with Lorenzo for that one?
Yeah, I will be. Yeah, the song's already written and stuff. We just need to get on the production and sort all of that stuff out. But I'm hoping to release that later this year, so that will be exciting.
Hopefully, if there isn't another lockdown spike and you can go and record or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all very much up in the air at the minute.
I know.
It's gonna get better. Things are getting better. We should be.
It will. With the vaccine and everything, I think we're on our way up to.
I mean, hopefully. What do you think of like festivals coming back and that?
Oh, I'm excited. I miss festivals. I was meant to go to Reading last year and it got cancelled, obviously, like every other festival. But yeah, I've been to Reading a couple of times. That's like my favorite, and I've been to Leeds Festival as well. I mean, obviously it's the same thing, but yeah.
I mean, the lineup for Leeds this year is a bit bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. Me and my friend were saying that that I usually go to festivals with. We were just like, oh, it's a little bit disappointing, but I'll go anyway because Reading is just the vibe and the atmosphere is just great. No matter what, you'll just enjoy yourself.
So yeah, like Reading more or Leeds?
Definitely Reading, specifically because of the weather. Right. When I went to Leeds Festival, it was literally raining most of the time. It was really cold. It was in like August time, and one of my friends brought gloves. It was a joke.
Yeah, but it's not a festival if it's not pissing it down, is it?
Well, that's true as well.
I've never heard anyone bring gloves to the festival.
I know. It was so funny.
Just need to be well prepared.
Yeah, literally. My friend, is so well prepared for festivals. Like she brings everything with her.
Yeah, I guess if you're going from London to Leeds, it's a bit of a difference in a climate. So
yeah, definitely. Even though I lived in Leeds for 3 years, I don't think I ever acclimatized to the temperature.
You should try up here in Newcastle. It's fucking miserable and cold all the time.
I have visited Newcastle once, literally last year, just before the lockdown with my friends from uni. And it was a really good day to be fair. But yeah, it was very cold and it was rainy that day as well.
Where did you go then in Newcastle?
We went to the dog cafe, if you know the dog.
Yes.
Cafe.
Yeah.
That was really, really good because I've never been to a dog cafe before. I've only ever been to cat cafes, and yeah, I really like dogs and cats. They're like
it's like a religious place for everyone who loves pets. I swear, like everyone who's not from Newcastle that I know who comes to Newcastle goes to it. It's just weird.
Really?
I didn't even know there was one in Newcastle.
Clearly, you need to get yourself down there.
But it's really nice though, and they let you pick them up as well because a lot of cat cafes you're not allowed to pick up the cats or anything. But yeah, that was nice.
I'm gonna go. I'm going. I have to go.
It's really cheap as well. I think I paid like £3 entry or something.
£3 to enter a cafe.
I'm pretty sure it was like £3 or £4. I don't think it was. Obviously, you have to like buy something once you're in there though, like food or a drink.
Oh, you have to pay for entry.
Yeah.
Why?
Do you normally pay to enter cafes?
No, I don't think I've ever paid to enter a cafe.
I mean, for dog and cat cafes, you do. I mean, the kitty cafe in Leeds, I've been to a couple of times while I was at uni. That was like £6 or something for entry. It was quite expensive.
Did you go to the University of Leeds?
No, I didn't go to University of Leeds. I went to Leeds College of Music or Leeds Conservatoire. They've changed their name, but yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Leeds then?
The nightlife. That was the main reason I chose to go to uni there. I mean, obviously I love the uni. I because it was music. It was a conservatoire, and it was one of the only ones in the country that does a popular music course. So that was the main reason why I chose it. But also because I heard so many good things about Leeds. I have a few friends who went as well to University of Leeds, and they were like, the nightlife is just great, and the music scene is really good as well, to be fair there. Like, I love the venues up there. They're really good.
When did you leave? What year?
Last year. I graduated last summer.
Oh, so you had your final year pretty much in lockdown.
Yeah, literally my last 3 months were in lockdown. I was gutted. I still haven't had a graduation. Don't know if I ever will get one. It's really gutting. I'm hoping they're gonna make arrangements for one at some point when we can. But
I mean, you would hope so, because it's a bit
they
shit if you don't.
Said they would, but they haven't really said anything since. So
yeah,
you might want to chase it up.
Yeah, I was saying that to a few of my friends. I was like, we should like make a petition and get everyone to sign it from our year, because even people who are graduating this year won't get one probably either. So
yeah, you have to just have a fat one. They'll have a massive, just 2 years. Just get
it's more as well to like see everyone again, like all together. It was like that final like send off that you want. You know,
the night out. If they did a joint graduation, the night out on that night would be insane.
Yeah, it really would.
Especially Leeds. That would go off.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait until restrictions are over and I can actually visit again, because I have so many friends who are like, please come back and visit. And I'm like, I want to when Corona is not a thing anymore. I think in my first year, there was like this place called Little Oven, literally like round the corner from my uni halls. And we'd always pass it from town, because my uni is like the other side, like more towards the bus station in Leeds, which is, you have to walk through town to get to it. So my halls was actually down the road from my uni. And we used to go there all the time because we'd always pass it on our way home. So we'd just end up getting cheesy chips like every time. So that was like a guilty thing that I used to get.
So proudest moment of my first year is getting on the Instagram of a takeaway called Munchies.
Oh my God.
So
that's hilarious.
Of all the things you did in first year,
me as well,
that is your proudest moment.
I was gonna say, come on.
He followed me as well. That was great.
Is that something you can tell your grandkids?
100%. I mean, I nicked his poster, which kind of mean. So yeah, whatever.
All right, fair enough. We'll always have to ask this because we did start off as an album review show. It's debatable if we still are or not. What's your sort of favorite album of all time?
Oh, that's a hard one. That's a very hard one. I would have to say Thank You Next by Ariana Grande, because that album just, I love it. She's like one of my favorite artists anyway, for a mainstream.
My sister would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, that album blew my mind, and I have to say that's definitely one of my no skips albums. I've listened to it many times.
Are you a big fan of Positions as well?
I do like Positions, but I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Thank You Next. Thank You Next is definitely her best album. It's just raw and,
Positions did have some good songs on it though. 34, 35 was good.
Yeah, I like 34, 35. I wouldn't say it's the best one though.
It's definitely not the best, but it's probably the one I've listened to the most from that album.
Yeah, to be fair, they've done multiple remixes of it with like Megan Stallion and Doja Cat and all of that. So they promoted that track a lot.
Is there 7 Rings on that album?
No, that's from Thank You Next.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like 7 Rings though. That's a good song.
7 Rings is my guilty pleasure for Ariana Grande.
To be fair as well, I'm a big Sound of Music fan, obviously musical lover. So, that was, I thought that was a cool thing for her to use in her song.
So what sort of because if that's your favorite album of all time, what's sort of like your favorite current album?
Ooh.
Either like just released or the one you just vibe into it the most.
I think Let a Good Thing Die by Bruno Major. I'm a huge Bruno Major fan, if you've heard of him. He's great.
I can't say I have. What type of music is he?
He's like jazzy soul pop.
Right. Send us the name after this. I'll give it a listen.
Yeah, I would recommend it. That album is so good. He posted on Instagram a couple of days ago that one of the songs, which I had no idea, was the piano that he wrote a top line over the piano part from 101 Dalmatians in a scene, which is pretty cool.
That
And
is
I
cool.
didn't even realize it. And he wrote a whole post about it. And I was like, that's so interesting. And yeah, that's literally my favorite song from the album as well. It's called Regent's Park. I would recommend that tune from the album.
What's been your favorite gig to attend to?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That is a very hard one. I would say most recent one that I went to was Gabrielle Aplin in Leeds at the Wardrobe. That was such a good gig. I loved that. That had to be one of my favorites for sure.
Is there any artist that you're sort of just itching to see live again?
I mean, I would say Ariana Grande, 100%. Who else do I really? I'd love to see Bruno Major. That would be really good. I've actually met him because he went to my uni, which is pretty cool as well. He did like a talk there and he performs some songs when he was like quite small. He's a lot more known now. I think it was in my first year of being in Leeds. So yeah, he was not very known back then, but yeah.
So did a bunch of like music, because well, I don't do music course, so I don't know myself, but did like a bunch of musicians just come in and just do like TED Talks to you almost?
Yeah, we had talks all the time, like multiple times in a week, which was cool. In first year, I would say I went to most of them, but in second and third year, I would say I went to less of them.
Right.
I didn't have a lot of time to. They would be at awkward times in the day and stuff. But yeah, that was a really cool thing that they did at my uni.
Yeah, is there sort of any like up and coming or like artists in your local scene that you just, I don't know, that you just think are just great and you just think need a bit of a shout out?
My friends, Sunflower Thieves, who a girl in the band is, so they're like a duo, they're like a folk duo, and they are really, really good. And I think I would recommend them. They're very chilled, folky. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this. Thank you for asking me to do this, and also for that blog review.
Yeah, that's all right. I do really like the song. I think it's a really good song.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, sorry if I seem very rough. I broke a mirror last night.
Oh no! How'd you manage that?
Do you know "Give Me Love" by Georgie?
No.
Oh, well, it's like a really upbeat song, and I was sort of like head bobbing to it in my mate's room. I threw my head back. I just broke his mirror.
Oh my god.
So for the rest of the day, I'm gonna be hungover and sorting that out. So sorry if I don't seem up to.
To be fair, you and me both. I had some drinks last night, so I felt pretty rough this morning. But
Mad sesh.